Hi, Lily, Vincent, and Sylvester. I have made this story for you to enjoy while Daddy is biking through the forest. The story is called The Forest That Remembered. Sit back and relax while we go on this fairy tale together. The Forest That Remembered. Chapter 1. The Secret Trail. Long before the first bicycle rolled beneath these trees, long before wooden bridges crossed the streams or winding trails curved around the mountain, the forest was already awake. Every spring it watched tiny seeds become towering pines. Every autumn it caught golden leaves before they touched the ground. Every winter it tucked sleeping flowers beneath a blanket of snow. The mountain had watched countless children grow into grown-ups. And because of that, it kept one secret. Hidden somewhere beneath roots older than castles was a trail that only appeared to families who stayed together, not the fastest family, or the strongest, but the ones who could still hear each other laugh. One cool morning, 3 young adventurers arrived. Sylvester rode first. His eyes searched every corner, eager to discover what lay beyond the next bend. Behind him came Vincent. He noticed everything. The feathers left by birds, the tiny mushrooms hiding beneath fallen logs, the way morning sunlight spilled through the branches like rivers of gold, and nestled safely behind them was little Lily. She was only 2 years old. She did not know the names of mountains. She did not know where the trail ended. But she smiled at every leaf, every bird, every fluttering butterfly, as though the whole forest had been waiting just to meet her. The moment they entered the trees, something changed. The wind grew quieter. The sunlight became warmer. The leaves rustled without a breeze. High above, an old owl slowly opened one wise eye. Far below, a fox lifted its nose from the moss. The forest had noticed them. And somewhere deep inside the mountain, something ancient smiled. The trail curved gently into the shadows, inviting them onward. None of the riders knew it yet. They had not come to find the enchanted trail. The enchanted trail had found them. Chapter 2. The Forest of Wonders. The trail climbed slowly beneath giant trees whose branches reached so high they seemed to hold up the sky. Soft green moss covered every stone. Silver drops of water clung to spiderwebs like tiny stars. Even the air smelled different here, fresh, cool, and filled with the scent of pine and earth after rain. Sylvester pedaled harder. The hill grew steeper, but so did his determination. I'll reach the top first, he thought. His wheels bounced over roots that curled across the path like sleeping dragons. Finally, he arrived. He looked across the valley. The view stretched forever. Blue hills rolled into the distance beneath drifting clouds. It was beautiful, but it was strangely quiet. No laughter, no voices, no Lily, no Vincent. Far below, Vincent had stopped beside a patch of butterflies dancing in a beam of sunlight. They swirled around him like pieces of the morning sky. Lily pointed toward them with both hands and laughed so hard that even the birds seemed to answer. Only then did Sylvester notice something. When he hurried ahead alone, the mountain became silent. When his family caught up, the forest came alive again. The wind returned. Birds filled the air with song. Leaves shimmered overhead. Even the sunlight seemed brighter. From behind an old fern stepped the fox. Its copper fur glowed in the afternoon light. It looked back only once before disappearing farther up the trail. Without saying a word, the family followed. Some invitations are too magical for words. Chapter 3. Where the stars learned to fly. The fox led them deeper into the forest than they had ever been. Here the trees were enormous. Their trunks were wider than little houses. Their branches formed a great green ceiling. where golden light poured through like waterfalls. At last, they reached the oldest tree on the mountain. Its roots stretched across the earth like giant hands, protecting something precious. Everything became still. No wind. No birds. Only the quiet beating of their own hearts. Then, tiny lights began to appear. 1, 3, 10, hundreds, thousands. Fireflies. They rose gently from the grass until the whole forest sparkled. It looked as though the night sky had drifted down between the trees. Lily reached out with tiny fingers. A single firefly landed softly on her hand before floating away again. Vincent whispered, "It's like the stars are practicing before they climb into the sky." No one answered. No one needed to. Some moments are too wonderful for words. One glowing firefly landed on each bicycle. Their little light stayed beside the riders as they continued through the forest. The old owl watched from high above. The fox quietly disappeared into the trees. And somewhere beneath the mountain, the ancient heart of the forest seemed to beat just a little brighter. Chapter 4. The Light We Carry. Evening slowly wrapped the mountain in gold. Long shadows stretched across the trail. The family began the gentle ride home. No one hurried anymore. There was nothing to chase. The best part of the journey had never been reaching the top. It had been sharing every turn, every climb, every surprise along the way. As they rolled through the quiet forest, the fireflies floated beside them like tiny lanterns. One by one, they drifted upward into the darkening sky until they became impossible to tell apart from the first evening stars. Lily waved goodbye. Vincent watched until the last light disappeared. Sylvester smiled without knowing exactly why. High above, the owl closed its eyes. The fox slipped silently into the shadows. The mountain had shared its secret. Growing up is a little like riding an endless trail. The path keeps changing. The hills become steeper. The forests become deeper. New adventures wait around every corner. But wonder is never something you leave behind. It is something you carry. Sometimes it hides inside kindness. Sometimes inside courage. Sometimes inside curiosity. And sometimes it appears in the smallest laugh from the youngest rider. Many years from now, the mountain would still be waiting. The trees would still whisper. The streams would still sing over polished stones. And perhaps 3 grown riders would return. Maybe they would bring children of their own. When they entered the forest once again, the leaves would dance, the butterflies would rise, and somewhere an old owl would quietly open one wise eye. Because the mountain remembers every heart that chooses wonder. And those who never stop looking for magic never truly leave the enchanted trail. The end.